For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Coming up on the broadcast, we focus on the lowering of inflation and whether any kind of reprieve, therefore, is being passed on or provided to consumers in St. Lucia. We'll be hearing from an official on this, also hearing from the island's Acting Police Commissioner, Mr. Verngard, and what is the latest with the Citizenship by Investment Program. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. As always, you will be part of the conversation. You will be able to call at 452-2979. That's 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, 716-2026. So, the news is, a gazetted notice was published yesterday, backdating the approval of the selling of citizenship or via CIP retroactive from January the 12th of 2024. Now, among others, the opposition has taken issue with this. They believe that the procedure, the right procedure for this to be facilitated was not adhered to. As a result, we have a press release coming from the CIP unit. Not the CIP unit, but yes, Citizenship by Investment St. Lucia. And it is dated September the 13th of 2024. So it press release publication of approval enterprise projects. And it reads, the Citizenship by Investment Board wishes to clarify that the publication in the Extraordinary Gazette edition of 2 enterprise projects is a requirement of the laws of St. Lucia and serves to inform the public of the projects that have been approved. The legal capacity to approve such projects was provided in the Citizenship by Investment Amendment Regulations published in Extraordinary Gazette dated December 20th of 2023. According to the Citizenship by Investment Act, the approval of real estate and enterprise projects must be gazetted. Whilst the two projects have been approved and applications have been received, there has been no approvals given for any application. Accordingly, no monies have been received by any of the developers for these projects. The enterprise agreement requires developers to finance the projects upfront and recover their monies when approvals are given and minimum investments are paid. Again, no approvals have been given or monies received for any of the two projects. The board is aware that the developers are now in a position to commence the projects. The housing project has been submitted to DCA for final approvals, and the Memorandum of Understanding between the developer and the Department of Infrastructure is finalized. Therefore, the board has exercised its statutory requirement to publish the respective projects in the Gazette. The board also wishes to inform that the three projects which were presented to the market as approved projects between 2016 and 2021 were never gazetted. The range development, which was approved as a real estate development but sold as donation, was not gazetted. The DSH project, Alpina Hotel and Alpina Square, was approved as a real estate development but never gazetted. And the Galaxy project was approved as a real estate development but was also never gazetted. The Citizenship by Investment Board wishes to ensure or assure the public that it will act in accordance with all the legal and statutory requirements and close any gaps that previously existed. And that is coming from the CIP unit over in St. Lucia. We're trying to establish contact with a spokesperson of the opposition United Workers' Party who might want to react to this particular statement that was issued just moments ago. We'll endeavor to establish contact with that individual, and hopefully as soon as this is done, we will commence our discussion. I think the person is on the line. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Good afternoon to you. That's the second deputy political leader of the opposition United Workers' Party, Mr. Dominic Fede. I don't know, if you're listening and you'd have heard me go through the press release coming from the the Citizenship by Investment St. Lucia. I want to say to this.
Well, Tim, this is a very highly irregular process. I'm in the Senate now, and it was just a couple of days ago we were there and we were passing some legislation brought by the government. Tim, for your listeners, the process is normally this. A bill comes through the House. It comes to the Senate. It gets royal assent by the Governor General after the Senate votes and approves. Following the royal assent of the Governor General, it is then published in the Gazette for 14 days. And it is only then that that process is complete. Now, the press release which you read is trying to suggest that on December 20th, 2023, that there was a statutory instrument which was passed. We are now in September, 10 months later. If the government is suggesting in this press release that they are now gazetting a procedure which was undertaken way back as December 20th, 2023, then this is wrong. And so, Tim, we in the opposition, we have a lot of concerns. It is illegal. It is incomplete. Anything that happened before this gazetting of the law. So, for example, The government says in the statutory, in the Gazette, that the CIP Act empowers it to pass this or publish in the Gazette a statutory instrument to now make legal retroactively dating back to January 2024, 9 months earlier, 2 projects, one by Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate Limited, National Infrastructure Improvement Program, and the other one by BMAX LLC Rock Hall Housing Development Project. Tim, in the middle of a scandal, this is highly irresponsible. This procedure only serves to further confuse and to raise suspicions about the existing allegations which exist. Now, Tim, I've seen before where in lawmaking, governments have made things retroactive. But this is usually not to cover up any potential, and I use the word potential, corruption that may exist. But this, Tim, is to ensure that they serve the people of St. Lucia. So, for example, let's say that the rate of VAT, government wants to reduce the rate of VAT. And they can say, well, okay, we're going to reduce the rate of VAT to 5%. And everyone that has paid VAT from January can actually now get a VAT rebate because you've paid this money already, and we want to make this retroactive all the way back to January 12th. Now, this is normal and this is okay, but it becomes a problem if you're going to make a law retroactive to what is seemingly to cover up a scandal and cover up a procedure in the middle of very damning and serious allegations of fraud and money laundering and mismanagement. So much so that there is a case filed in the U.S. Federal courts against our CIP program, and the government continues to handle this in the most irresponsible of manners. So I would really like a better explanation. The government needs to stop hiding behind press releases. They need to come out, explain to the public as to why this is happening, why now, some 9 months after the regulations were amended, according to the press release, that the government is now coming out and publishing what should have happened 9 months ago.
But according to the press release, which was not signed but coming out of the Citizenship by Investment, it says that whilst the 2 projects have been approved and applications have been received, there has been no approvals given for any application, and accordingly, no monies have been received by any of the developers for these projects. So
no, I like that line, and I want you to read that again very slowly for your listeners, because I was going to address that. Because you see, the CIP unit and the CIP minister have been conveniently trying to mislead the people of St. Lucia with jargons. So let's go. Whilst the 2 projects have been approved, right, and applications have been received, yeah? So basically, they have received passport applications. Galaxy has gone out. For you to receive an application, Tim, they would have had to sell the passport. Someone would have had to agree to pay a price for the passport. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now, what they're telling you is that the CIP unit have not processed those passports. But they're trying to be cagey and confuse the nation with jargons. How many applications have been received for the infrastructure program? Are they willing to tell us that? We need to know. Are the claims made that there are 7,000 applications that have been received for the infrastructure program? Are those claims true? We're still waiting to know. The last we heard is when the press asked the minister, he said he was waiting on Galaxy to give permission for him to reveal that information. So Tim, you see, this whole thing, the way that the government does this PR, it only increases the suspicion, and it only then serves to confuse the people of St. Lucia. I tell you, Tim, I smell something really dangerous. This is really, really highly irregular. We need to know how many applications have they received, because they're saying in the press release, while the two projects have been approved and applications have been received, so they're telling us that they have received applications, but how many? How many? How many have you in the, and these statutory instruments are very empty, Tim. They don't have sufficient detail so that the people of St. Lucia can make their very informed opinions on the various documents that the government would have put out for circulation. So therefore, we are left to conclude on our own. We're left to add up our own math, and we're left to make assumptions. And so this is very dangerous. We still haven't had the reports laid into the parliament. The government several months have promised to lay those reports in parliament. I mean, we're going to the Senate on Tuesday again, and I'm hoping that on Tuesday that I will see the reports from the government, because the parliament meets the day before, on Monday. So I am hoping that the Minister of CIP will keep his promise to the nation and to submit those reports. The month of September is almost through, and we need more information to know what's going on, right? Who's collecting the money, Tim? Where are the money for these applications? In the MOU with the government, is it Galaxy that is collecting the money, or is the money coming to the consolidation fund? Is there an escrow account set up for the different program that Galaxy is now running, which is the infrastructure program? So all of this now is a whole maze of confusion, which serves only to make the people of St. Lucia less informed.
Finally, how does the opposition plan to deal with this?
Tim, this is the greatest fraud perpetuated upon the people of St. Lucia. We must hold the government accountable. We have already contacted our lawyers, and we will not spare any effort to make sure that this is done in the best possible way, and in the most, making sure that it meets the highest level of legal scrutiny. We are discussing the legal options available, and we are considering a judicial review on this matter to make sure that the government of St. Lucia deals with this in an appropriate manner, so that the people of St. Lucia can be assured that their monies, contrary to what the Minister of CIP told the Chamber of Commerce, I do not believe that philosophically the monies from the real estate program belongs to the investor. The money belongs to us, the people of St. Lucia, and the people of St. Lucia are stakeholders in the CIP monies, and therefore the government must treat the people that they are important partners in this, so that we have to know at every step of the way what is happening with the CIP funds. I believe, Tim, that if an investor will come to St. Lucia and they want to sell passports that belong to the country, and those passports are a symbol of national pride to many St. Lucians. And if you're going to sell those passports, then I believe that you ought to face the highest level of transparency and accountability, so that the people of St. Lucia can know what's happening in their respective projects.
Thank you, sir, for speaking with us on this afternoon's NewsSpin program. We just heard there from the second deputy political leader of the opposition United Workers' Party, and he's also an opposition senator, Mr. Dominic Fede. That's a developing story. Also coming up on the broadcast, lowering of inflation. According to the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Mr. Timothy Antoine, because we are basically importing inflation from the United States, as our AC dollar is pegged to the US dollar, over the last few months there's been a lowering of inflation in the US, and therefore we are expected to feel the positive effects in St. Lucia within some time frame. And that is a statement that he made during an interview on Wednesday of this week with DBS's Lisa Joseph.
Because we're pegged to the US dollar, And we've been pegged to the US dollar since 1976, so 48 years and counting. Most of the inflation we experience in St. Lucia and our currency union is imported because it's directly tied to what is happening in our major trading partner, the United States. So when they peaked, we peaked. And now that it's falling in the US, it's also falling here because we're importing much of what we do from the US through the US. So that is a positive development. So we have seen inflation come down. Remember, inflation is a rise in the general price level. And as I said, when you look at inflation, I just need to make this point, we have to look at not just food, which is what we see weekly in the supermarket and in our shops, but you have to look at energy. Oil prices have fallen. You have to look at housing. You have to look at transport. You have to look at telecoms, internet. You know, there are a range of things in that basket. And two of the big ones, obviously, are food and oil, or food and energy. And we have seen prices come down.
How long will it take for us to be able to feel that lowering of the inflation rate? It's not going to be an immediate
No, it's
felt,
not.
would it?
No, it's not. There is always a lag. And the truth is, and we have to be candid about that, prices are sticky downwards. So if a price goes up, it seldom comes down or doesn't come down fast enough. It may not grow or go higher, but to get it back down. So if something was costing a pound of something was costing $5, it's now costing $7. It may not come back down to 5. It will not go to 8 or 9. It may come down to 6, but seldom back to 5. That's a reality we see in commerce. So I think with the reduction, we will begin to see, and we are beginning to see. So price at the pump is an example. Consider when the price was $17, $18. Now it's back down to 15, 16. I mean, it's still high, but it's come down. That's an example of what I mean.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Anton, speaking with DBS's Lisa Joseph on Wednesday of this week. Let's open the lines to take your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And the governor made reference to the lowering of prices pertaining to oil on the world market. Unfortunately, those reductions have not been felt in the case of St. Lucia because for the longest while, we have been paying $16.50 for a gallon of diesel or gas in St. Lucia. So it's very unfortunate that that is not reflected in terms of the marked reduction in the price of crude oil on the world market. That has not been reflected in the price of fuel at the pump in St. Lucia. And of course, you as motorists, you can attest to that. Your calls at 452-2979. Once again, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And let me go through some of your comments. Somebody says, good day. The CIP director and minister should be relieved from their portfolios until a forensic audit has been undertaken to understand the development taking place. It does not augur well. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, without any signature, how do we know that this press release came from our CIP unit? Who owns this document? And some more of your messages. Another person says, Tim, if this press release from such an organization is not signed, then it should not be read. And some more comments. But in the meantime, let me turn my attention to what is happening in the chat room in terms of your various contributions while we are awaiting your calls. Somebody says, the government brings down the price of fuel by 1 cent. Another person says, this is garbage. Some more comments. Exactly will benefit from this reduction. St. Lucians have felt nada, absolutely nothing. Another person says, St. Kitts CIP CEO resigned recently. I wonder why. And I wonder why ours is still there. we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Please go with your contribution, caller.
Yeah, Timothy, they have some abbreviations. I really want to know the title. ETA, CIP. I want to know what's the meaning.
Caller, just go on the computer, caller. You'll know what it's all about.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm old school. I'm not. That's why I asked you that. I'm not in this era. I'm in the old school. So if you can give me the meaning of ETA and CIP, I will make my judgment.
Citizenship by Investment Program, that's the CIP, and ETA is Electronic Travel Authorization.
Okay, all right, Tim.
All right, caller.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Yeah.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, 452-2979. We have we have a call that's coming in. Let's take the call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I listened to the governor. A price of gas is $17.50.
I think right now, no, it's $16.50 now. $16.50.
Okay, sorry. $16.50 for a gallon of gas, $16.50 for a gallon of diesel. And I think kerosene is something they're opening 11.
About $12 or thereabouts.
Yes, well, yeah, around that. And I think the cooking gas is the 20-pound cylinder is $46.
Yeah.
It's $6. Now I heard that the gentleman, maybe guys with the big books and all these technology, ideas. But then what reflecting here on the ground is different, you know. That's a huge difference. We have not seen a reduction of gas for a long time, you know, Tim.
For years.
For years. I remember at one time a gallon of gas was $13 and I was happy I could do my business, you know. And mind you, that's $17. I mean, $40, $50 gas that coming from the south before then come back, you know. You just see that numbers going up on the machine, whatever how they regulate it, whatever, and you almost don't have nothing to feel really something in the vehicle. You had about $200 gas, you know. So I think the governor probably missed. The governor probably, he tried, he's saying something, but the average solution, especially those who consume a lot of fuel, particularly the bus drivers, does not see what the governor is saying there at all, completely. Now, that CIP, we have heard so much about that CIP. I listened to Mr. Dominic Fede. And Tim, we have heard so much about it. Tim, are you not getting tired of hearing about that CIP thing?
No, I'm not.
Until there is a change, there is something different?
I'm not tired. As a matter of fact, we need to hear a whole lot more from our authorities in St. Lucia. And to give credit, just a little credit to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Remember at some point in time, maybe you could try and get the clip, when he said that he would not be speaking about CIP anymore. I think he made the comment in June of this year during a pre-cabinet press briefing. But since then, he has been speaking about it on various talk shows, and also he's been speaking about it during those press briefings.
So if he's speaking about it now, maybe now it's conducive for him to speak about it.
And people can talk all they talk, you know, it's just what they're saying. They are not saying much.
Tim, I believe, with my little knowledge as a layman, there is something going wrong in that citizenship, you know, in our passport. We have heard so much about $1.4 billion sitting in a bank in China or Hong Kong, whatever it is. And then we have, up to a day, even as we speak, we have not had the government come clean and say, okay, and this is false. This is not the case, and this is what it is. I mean, when the government Prime Minister will tell you he doesn't want to talk about CIP. And the thing is, I mean, that thing is all over the place. You have Martinez, you have court person would have to go and answer in court. Even in allegedly involve the Minister of Investment.
No, the minister is not involved. No, the minister. The minister has not been put. The minister is not part of the RICO case, caller.
Okay,
he's not been added.
But I was told he was a co-defendant.
He has not been added to the RICO case. No, it's only the CEO of the CIP.
Because the reason why we have Mr. McLeod said, we were told that Mr. McLeod is the one in charge of CIP, right?
Not we are told he is in charge of the CIP.
Now, we were told he went to D.C. and he met with Martinez, blah, blah, blah. And then he went by himself with his wife, and he did not go with a lawyer. And then Mr. Martinez said he has some important recording, and not document, recording of Mr. Emmanuel, you know, and so forth. And maybe by now, persons who are interested, especially the leader of the opposition, went up there, probably could have listened to the conversation. What was so? I mean, we really need to clear the air on these things for sure. We cannot allow that thing to fester like that. And that one playing the blame game, that one, I was told they say Flambeau, Martinez and Flambeau, they're on a co-host thing, whatever, try to bring St. Lucia name to disrepute, and then you hear the Minister of Investment says something addressing the show, but there are some key questions, like Mr. Fede said there. How much passport have you sold? And then the question is how much, I mean, tell the people of St. Lucia, how many passports have you sold? Simple. And then the Galaxy, I mean, I am saying, and in the midst of all of that, never forget the crime situation that is destroying us. We cannot at no time happy, sing, laugh, and everything is good, and forget we have a pandemic right in the middle of us. Crime is destroying the livelihood of St. Lucia. Who is going to lead the charge? Who is going to take that charge? Who is going to lead? And say, look, also there is a crusade. And that crusade, the headline of the crusade, is to stop the violence. And I'm thankful for that church. But to me, Tim, you believe that's enough? That's not enough. Where are the leaders that we are putting in office? Where are the leaders to say, this thing, enough is enough with that, and we need to do something? Because almost on every week, Mr. Poleon, we are losing a life, and most of the time, an innocent life. Because when these fellas come, if they don't get the person they're in the problem with, whether it's a friend, a neighbor, a little boy going to school, they take the little boy out. Can you imagine how we become? And we just sit in there and say that is not our style. When they ask us about crime, and then we said, oh, that's not the way we do it, and it's everywhere in the world, so we can have it there like a magic ocean. It doesn't affect us. I don't know. But the good thing about it, I am always saying every time you have your program that you always let in St. Lucia know that you would not sit idly by and allow crime to go undercover, not reporting it into your media and not highlighting it. Because the question is, we have a leader, and if the leader cannot do it, then definitely the leader is a failure. He's failed completely, and he must admit the Labour Party failed in crime for sure. And they cannot, and like you said at one time, maybe I can repeat it in my own way, not in the way that you had repeated. If election were to call next week, the people of St. Lucia will vote the Labour Party out just for crime alone. They have other issues there, but you see crime, number one, when you're not safe in your country, that's big volume. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for calling. I don't know if you have that clip of the Prime Minister speaking, I think it was in June of this year, when he said, going forward, since this matter is a subject of litigation, that's CIP, he would not be speaking about it anymore.
I want to make sense the last time for all those who want to hear it. There is a RICO case in the U.S. courts, a civil matter. Let's wait for it. Let's wait. We have no issues. The issues that surround St. Lucia's CIP are speculation and accusations. There is a civil case in the courts of the U.S. Let us wait for the results of the civil case. And let's go on. Let's go on. From now on, no questions, no answer in the CIP for me. No answers there. So you'll ask me, I'll respectfully tell you, with great respect, wait for the RICO case. That's what I'm going to tell you from now on.
Since then, he has spoken incessantly on this whole CIP matter on at least 2 talk shows or during 2 talk show appearances, as well as other conversations during the press briefings, the pre-cabinet press briefings. We have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, hey Tim, should we spare this document as a product, or better yet, a chat GPT file with no signature at all? And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, okay, let's see. Via WhatsApp, if we have another call, somebody says, Timothy, this is crazy. No one signed that press release. Shaking my head. All right, let's take another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Leonard Montoute.
Yes, Tim. We have labeled the SLP government as a government of secret lies and propaganda. Once again, we are witnessing the deceit of the SLP government. Here you are, where we are getting information in the Gazette yesterday indicating that they have approved some projects for the infrastructure program. Now, that Gazette, the strange thing about it is that Gazette's publication is backdated to the 12th of January. Now, you would recall that previously the government said that the infrastructure program was established on February 5th, 2024.
Yeah.
Now they're publishing that it was established on, and they have backdated the Gazette to suggest that it is effective since January 12th. Clearly, there is some cover-up taking place. Clearly, the government is trying to clean up some of its illegalities. And clearly, that tells us, once again, they're trying to pull wool over our eyes in this country. Now, this is a matter I think that the government has to come clean with St. Lucians on. I think what they have been doing is trying to buy time, because they know that we typically will speak about something for a little while and then forget about it and you move on to something else. I heard the caller just say that he's tired of hearing about CIP already. But the CIP is a significant matter, just as there are many other significant matters that has to be dealt with. And if the government does not want to talk about it, we have to talk about it, because what they want is for us to just forget about it as well. And we cannot overlook and forget about it when all this illegality is taking place. We have found our program in a RICO case, and it's as if we have to wait for the case, and we have to wait for a foreigner called Philip Martinez to provide us with information, whereas the people that we have employed and given the responsibility to represent us and work in our interests and report an account to us are refusing to do so. I mean, you will recall that the Minister of Investment, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, said to a reporter, and by the way, reporters speak and ask questions on our behalf. He said to the reporter that he cannot answer the question as to how many passports have been approved for Galaxy. He would have to first consult with Galaxy to get their permission to tell us. Whereas that should have been public information that should have been tabled in Parliament a year ago. And we are well overdue, almost a year overdue for one of the reports. And the next report, by next month, we would have exhausted the time frame by which it should be presented. These are things that, again, are going contrary to the laws that govern the program. Laws made by the same St. Lucia Labour Party, and they are actually acting illegally. And when these things happen, you have to ask yourself, what is it that they are hiding? Why are they so secretive? Why are they telling lies? And why are they avoiding being accountable and taking responsibility for what is going on? And so it seems as if St. Lucians will have to wait for the outcome of a case in the United States to actually know and find out what is going on, rather than the people who we have given the responsibility to account to us, come forward and tell us exactly what is going on. I'm hoping that St. Lucians have seen by now that what is taking place in this country. And earlier on, you talk about the cost of living. And yes, much of our inflation is imported, but there is an aspect of our inflation that is homegrown, that was created by our government. For example, the 2.5% that was added on the already high inflation. And I'm saying that just like they can remove it for foreign companies, they can remove it for us as well. And so the crime situation that the gentleman before me alluded to, that is another critical situation. So when you look at it from all angles, we have a government that has failed dismally, a government that is failing because they cannot manage. And evidence of the lack of management ability of this government is, for example, when there is no problem in the world with sugar, but St. Lucia has a shortage of sugar. These are the little things that points to the capacity and the ability of a government. And so St. Lucians have to take stock of what is going on. Once again, the wool was pulled over our eye. Another attempt to cover up illegality is what was done by retroactively publishing this gazette. By publishing this gazette and retroactively dating, the establishment of the infrastructure program to January 12th. Okay, and that is because they want to cover up the fact that all along, from that time, Galaxy had been given permission to sell our passports under the stipulated price, and which in itself is an illegality. So they are busy now trying to cover their tracks, but what happens in the dark will eventually come to the light. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. You just heard there from the PRO of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Leonard Spider-Man Toot. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin. Well, we are back and better than ever. Join M&C Home Depot Vidbouteille for their grand reopening event, and that is scheduled for Saturday, tomorrow, the 14th of September, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's a day of exclusive deals, exciting giveaways, and music. Enjoy refreshments and a chance to win big and bring the whole family. Come celebrate with M&C Home Depot Vidbouteille, Saturday, September 14th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
We're back and better than ever. Join us at the MNC Home Depot Vidbouteille for our grand reopening event. Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a day of exclusive deals, exciting giveaways, and music. Enjoy refreshments and a chance to win big. Bring the whole family. Entry is free. Come celebrate with us at MNC Home Depot Vidbouteille. Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See you there.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouteille at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
6 more. Just a flick of the wrist.
The CPL action lives at KFC as we add an exciting new item to our menu. Introducing the King's King's Box. The King's Box includes 5 dipping wings undipped, 1 piece of chicken, 1 regular fries, and a 16-ounce soda for only $20. Purchase a King's Box for a chance to win VIP and regular tickets to the King's cricket matches in St. Lucia, KFC vouchers, and other prizes. Participation is simple. Simply sign your name and number on your King's Box receipt and place an entry box provided at all 5 locations. Promotion runs from August 1st to September 16th, 2024. Look out for pop-ups, photo-ops, and memorabilia sign-in from the Kings players at selected stores. The T20 action continues with KFC. Purchase a King's Box today and be on your way. KFC, finger licking good.
Yes, into the crowd. 6 sixes and an over.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with a best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. But the postpaid Wi-Fi you go. Cut your bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
It is well known by all St. Lucian professional tradesmen and even homeowners that European-made tools are the best. Well, guess what? Europa Hardware is having a massive promotion on the Metabo brand of power tools. From impact drills to angle grinders, jigsaws to rotary hammers, sanders and hot air guns. All at unbeatable, jaw-dropping prices. Don't let your tools let you down. Come to Europa and stay standing with a proud in-the-hand tool from Metabo. Call us at 452-0763 or visit us in Massat Grosile. Europa, we service what we sell.
Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House. Everything must go. Half off and less on everything. But that's not all. We also offer wholesale prices on a variety of items and souvenirs, perfect for vendors and retail needs. Visit us today at Mikut Street, Castries, or call us at 452-2250. Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House. Sale ends September 30th.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. 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 It's coming.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
In today's fast-paced world, accurate health diagnosis is more crucial than ever. Time is vital. Are you suffering from chronic headaches, back pain, knee pain, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, sciatica, stroke, joint pain, or arthritis? No matter the pain or illness, La Clinique du Corps has the best doctors and specialists to diagnose and treat your condition. We are the only medical clinic equipped with the latest 1.5 Tesla MRI machine, the gold standard in healthcare. This fully GE certified MRI provides top quality, detailed images detecting any illness including tumors and cancers of the brain and spine. We also offer the ultimate in ultrasound technology. There is absolutely no need to travel overseas for these services. Exercise your right to a second opinion before any complex medical procedure. La Clinique du Corps puts you in direct contact with top medical specialists from Martinique and France, known internationally for prioritizing patients' health. Call La Clinique du Corps in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay at 451-6559 and make your appointment today.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, cast in sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastuche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexon, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is the NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Still to come on the broadcast, somebody has just performed a song, and it's aimed at the organizers of Carnival 2024, and a plea is being made for them to be paid. The Calypsonians, for them to be paid. Somebody says via WhatsApp, if there is criminality in the CIP unit in St. Lucia, it's a local issue. Where are the local investigators and investigations to see if our laws were intentionally broken? I hope our people know that the case in Florida is not going to answer whether or not there is corruption in St. Lucia. It will decide whether Caribbean Galaxy owes Mr. Martinez any money based on their business practices in the CIP marketplace. We are wasting precious time if we are not doing our own investigation on the ground in St. Lucia. If St. Lucia's laws are broken, those who break the laws must be held accountable and be prosecuted for doing so. Florida will not do this for us. A call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you doing
I'm
today?
okay, ma'am. Good afternoon. How about you?
I'm confused, and I am hoping that maybe you can help. Okay, so I've been following this CIP case very closely, and a number of things there's something rotten in Denmark. Let's just say that. First of all, we're hearing that the minister say that the money derived from the sale of the passports is not our money. For some reason, this just does not sit well with me. Okay, when I look at my passport, my ID card, my driver's license, it says property of the government of St. Lucia. Why is it that monies derived from the sale of a document that is the property of the government of St. Lucia, the money belongs to a developer? That's one thing, right? The second thing is this. We've been hearing that if action isn't taken, that we might be a threat of losing our visa-free access to the Schengen area, our correspondence banking, and all of that, right? The Prime Minister and the Minister have come out and say, oh, there's no problem in the CIP, everything is fine, why are you getting so excited? You know, all that kind of thing. When you look under the hood, Timothy, TD Bank has come out and said that it is facing fines from FinTrack in Canada for money laundering, and they're preparing to pay a fine that might go up to $1 billion, right? We're hearing rumors that TD Bank has commenced canceling their correspondence banking with Bank of St. Lucia. We saw a press release from the bank, not signed, not assigned to anybody, not attributed to anybody, saying that that isn't true. We're hearing again the government retroactively gazetting a bill, backdating it, because the first issue said, the first issue of the infrastructure option, if I'm correct, you might correct me on that, said February 2023. We've heard December 2023. We're now hearing January 2024. Am I correct, or
yes,
do I have this wrong?
You are correct. You are correct.
Right. So we're hearing 3 different dates for one infrastructure option. We have no idea from our government how many passports are being sold or how many units have been issued under this option. All we know is that the Caribbean Galaxy has to give the government $100 million US, right? But we have no idea how this thing is actually supposed to work. What infrastructure projects are they going to be doing? They mentioned the Rock Hall housing project. The Gazette yesterday has attributed that Rock Hall housing project to another company. So, I mean, am I crazy, or is this thing just completely up in the air?
It is, and somehow the authorities have done a hash of it in terms of explaining. Because both the Prime Minister and the Investment Minister, they seem to be cherry-picking in terms of wanting to answer certain questions, and other questions that are posed to them, they would tell you things like, I don't know, or in the case of how many shares were given to Galaxy, the Investment Minister said that he would, go to the company to find out if it can give them approval to make that disclosure. So people are very much confused, and people don't feel that the authorities are coming clean with the responses that are required.
Here's the thing that doesn't sit well with me again, Tim. A politician is essentially hired by the people of the country to serve their interests in the parliament and in the wider sphere. Correct?
Yes.
If I am your boss and I am asking you to explain your actions that I am paying you as a taxpayer, I mean, I'm asking you to explain, and you're telling me you have to ask another company anywhere else, any other job, that person would be fired on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what is going? It's almost as if these politicians believe that we work for them. Now, here's another thing. Let's go back to TD Bank. When the bank sent that press release, it was not assigned. And I'm seeing it wasn't signed. There was no indication as to where it was coming from, the bank of the board, the management, nothing. We're seeing the same thing with the CIP press release that was just issued.
All it has the letterhead of citizenship by investment, St. That's it, press release.
Right, just the letterhead. But no signature. No one to hold accountable for this information. Now, are you familiar with Kenneth Rejock's money laundering financial crime blog?
Yes, I am.
There is an article on there which says that information was ascertained from a person who is an employee of Bank of St. Lucia, who said that communications coming from the bank are now being controlled by politicians. Now, look at the communication that came from the bank and look at the one that came from CIP. When I read that CIP press release, it read more like a political document. It mentioned the range development not being gazetted. It mentioned the
DSH,
and it also mentioned the Canals Resort. Why would CIP mention these things not being gazetted? The gazetting of that is not up to the CIP board. That is up to the government of St. Lucia. Why would the CIP board mention these things? These things read like they come from the office of the Prime Minister. Do you agree? Is it safe for me to say something like that?
Yes, you're correct. Because, I mean, that's the same impression I got when it read, for example, the board also wishes to inform that the 3 projects which were presented to the market as approved projects between 2016 and 2021 were never gazetted. And then they went on to itemize, make reference to the various projects. That has nothing to do with what is before the St. Lucian public right now. Exactly.
So this reads like propaganda. It's almost as if we're in a 19 in a World War II Nazi film. You know, like propaganda is ruling our country and not the actual Prime Minister. This is ridiculous. And then the Prime Minister goes on his thing. He tries to downplay stuff. From the minute that information came out about the RICO case, his question was, why are you getting so excited? Sidestepping every credible question that has been launched at him by the media. The Minister of Investment is insisting that there is nothing wrong. If there is nothing wrong, Timothy, just follow me for a second. If there is nothing wrong, number one, why is there a RICO case? Number two, why are you now retroactively backdating and gazetting something that should have been law before it started? The minute I saw that Gazette entry, I said to myself, something is wrong here. It's either this Galaxy has been selling our citizenships illegally, or the government has now issued Galaxy more citizenships to sell. But we have no idea because they refuse to tell us the information. Now, the thing about it is, if we are paying these people, if we have hired them to do a job, why are we not holding them accountable? Why are we not demanding answers? Why are we behaving as if we work for them and not the other way around? I just don't understand.
Well, maybe it's a figment of our imagination. Maybe it is a figment of our imagination that they are working for us. Maybe it's the other way around.
Tim, like you and like everybody else who went to the polls on July 21st, we hired somebody to take care of our best interest, because essentially that is what we do. That little X that we put in the box guarantees these people a salary for 5 years, perks, and some of us cannot even buy groceries because of their policies. We cannot use our vehicles the way we want. We cannot keep up with school payments. We cannot get proper health care, and all of it is because we hired them. Okay? These people should be answering to us, and it is about time. And I've said it over and over again. We need to demand a fair day's pay for a fair day's work from our politicians. That is the only way our country will run the right way. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for your contribution, ma'am. 452-2979, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages. Still to come, we'll be hearing from the island's police commissioner, because very much we are still grappling with a serious crime problem. And the weekend is upon us, and who knows whether we'll record another homicide or two, whether there'll be another stabbing incident. So we continue to focus on this crime scourge. The broadcast will continue in just a bit with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get the children ready to head back to school with a back-to-school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back-to-school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. Bundle post postpaid Wi-Fi, you go. Cut your bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $50,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer, We Summer.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
6 ball. Just a flick of the wrist.
The CPL action lives at KFC as we add an exciting new item to our menu. Introducing the King's Box. The King's Box includes 5 dipping wings undipped, 1 piece of chicken, 1 regular fries, and a 16-ounce soda for only $20. Purchase a King's Box for a chance to win VIP and regular tickets to the King's cricket matches in St. Lucia, KFC vouchers, and other prizes. Participation is simple. Simply sign your name and number on your King's Box receipt and place an entry box provided at all 5 locations. Promotion runs from August 1st to September 16th, 2024. Look out for pop-ups, photo-ops, and memorabilia sign-in from the King's players at selected stores. The T20 action continues with KFC. Purchase a King's Box today and be on your way. KFC, finger-licking good.
Yes, into the crowd. 6 sixes in an over.
Gade mweti boy, pa fe la femela.
Stop all that smoke, fume and noise. Keep the emissions to zero and be a hero for the environment. You can still do all your lawn mowing, brush cutting, leaf blowing, hedge trimming, even chainsawing, but with a battery-powered machine. Europa is now offering a buy one get one free on professional battery tools. When you buy the tool, we'll throw in the battery absolutely free. Yes, you heard right. You get 1 free battery with the purchase of any steel professional machine.
PS la fime, PS desord. Merci papa.
Visit Europa in Massad, Grosley, or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. 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 It's coming.
Attention men, are you worried about your prostate? Then get a multi-parametric MRI of the prostate done for only $1,250 from now until the end of September in commemoration of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Don't guess, know your status. Speak to your doctor or urologist, or just make an appointment by calling any of the La Clinique de Corps branches in Castries or Rodney Bay at 451-6559. That's 451-6559.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plastering sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
We're back and better than ever. Join us at the MNC Home Depot, Vid Boutte, for our grand reopening event. Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a day of exclusive deals, exciting giveaways, and music. Enjoy refreshments and a chance to win big. Bring the whole family. Entry is free. Come celebrate with us at MNC Home Depot, Vid Boutte. Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See you there.
This is the world's most monitored talk show in the world, and that is the NewsSpin. Let's hear now from the island's acting police commissioner, Mr. Vernegard, and he's speaking about his crime fighting strategy over the next few months.
I hereby submit the Royal St. Lucia Police Force Crime Prevention Strategy for the period September 2nd, 2024 to March 3rd, 2025. As the Commissioner of Police, my intention is to utilize new and existing resources, human and otherwise, to effectively and efficiently satisfy the crime prevention strategy through a tripod approach and with the support of my executive team. Though there is no panacea in the current phenomenon with St. Lucian citizens and serious crimes, it is the intention of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for the ensuing 6 months to refine the organization to meet its generic and intended purpose. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force designs to do so by employing a multi-sectorial and collaborative approach towards crime reduction, road safety, maritime safety, and border control. According to recent figures, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force has observed a 20% reduction in summary matters. However, the issue of homicides has remained significant. The current situation in St. Lucia requires to some extent redefining and revitalizing the organization's image by making it more modern and relevant to the needs of the public.
You just heard there from the island's acting police commissioner, Mr. Vernegard, all about his crime prevention strategy. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
You know, you had a call a while ago, Tim. I know we have a vernacular in this country. When a guy says, I'm tired of hearing so and so, he doesn't really mean I'm tired of this, I want to hear about something else. I wanted to say that for people who are listening, because I am tired in the same way this guy is tired.
Mm-hmm.
The guy wants some action from those we elected to act, and that goes both to the government and it goes to the opposition.
And the citizens as well, Rick, and the citizenry as well.
Well, the citizenry, you hope good citizens will have their own from their own love of country do certain things. But there are some countries where it is impossible, with all the love in the world, national love and everything in the world, you can do nothing. What person in St. Lucia, what citizen in St. Lucia you can think of who will take on the government by writing letters or writing lawyers' letters or even taking the government to court? What citizen you think will have that kind of tenacity, that kind of determination, the resources, and the faith? Because everything we're hearing is we're running a government by faith,
Mm-hmm.
by faith.
Well, a citizen who cares, Rick, and a citizen would use Martin Luther King and Gandhi as examples that they can follow.
We're dreaming, okay? So we're into fantasy land, okay? And remember that Martin Luther King did not do that. Let's be fair. Martin Luther King preached his preach, you know, and the other pastors preached their preach. They got their congregations who were the victims of the system, and it took them a lot of time to gradually develop into the kind of $1 Million March and so on and so on. It was not easy, and Martin Luther King died, and a lot of what he hoped to see he never saw. You know, remember the mountaintop thing. And I'm thinking of a country where you have an audience, a rock and roll audience in Central Park. The whole country, I've said it many, many times, the whole country can fit into a corner of how I got it, Crystal, the park in New York, Central Park, to watch a show, a rock show, or if they want to watch the news segment, you know, all the St. Lucians in New York can go to the spot, and there'll be no trouble whatsoever. But the point I want to underscore is the population of St. Lucia can fit into a corner of Central Park to watch a show. Now, that is what you're expecting. First of all, we are divided, so it's not even a country of one audience, one thinking. We don't think, even when it's in our own interest, let's be truthful and factual and look in the mirror. Because we're going to pay for it, you know, Tim. We will pay for it drastically. I may not be around to see it into the mountaintop. But it is coming. St. Lucia is going to pay drastically for what is happening right now. And it may not be you. It will definitely be your offspring down the road. You cannot allow things to go as they're going on, both with the opposition party and both with the government, not to mention the public servants. You cannot permit what's going on there to continue. It's unnatural. And when you go against nature, the natural order of things, you will pay. You will pay. Gradually, your police force is becoming more and more meaningless. How many people died yesterday?
Yesterday, not violently, no, none, not to my knowledge.
Was the guy stabbed yesterday?
I think that was the day before. That was on Wednesday evening.
So we haven't had one today?
No, fortunately.
An unusual occurrence.
Yeah, it's
an unusual occurrence.
When we do not have a homicide in St. Lucia, it's big news, you know.
What's that?
When we do not have a homicide in St. Lucia, it's big news.
My point precisely.
Yeah, it's big news.
My point precisely. So everything is in reverse order now. So the government, I'm not calling this, I'm very, very, very careful with those words. I don't go out and call government corrupt or call ministers corrupt. I don't think you'll find much of that in my whole record. But I take them up on what they say at press conferences, what they say in Parliament, how they choose to just forget about it, how they're supposed to be accountable to this. And I wrote articles upon articles upon articles at the time when Emma used to do the auditing and her comments. I wrote a lot about that. I wrote about the people she went to who did not supply her with needed material like invoices and so on. I remember one ambassador even wanted me to apologize, and I asked him where to stick it. Somebody in New York. But nobody is doing this anymore. And what is worse, nobody expects the media to do it. Nobody expects the media to investigate any story in St. Lucia, Tim. Are you aware of that?
Very much so.
So we're not expecting to hear anything from any media. We also have accepted that the media is scared to death of the politicians with good reason. We also know that there are media operators who bow before politicians. Bow. We know all of that, and we have chosen to live with it. I mean, I want to ask you a question. Is it remotely possible that when, remotely, and when Elias says, I don't know, I'm going to have to check with Galaxy to get the numbers for you. Is it remotely possible he was speaking nothing but the truth, the whole truth, or nothing but the truth? Is it possible?
But why would he say that in the first place? I mean,
maybe he doesn't know.
No, he could
maybe
say no.
Maybe
Because Rick, it sounds comical to say that. I mean,
it sounds comical, but then you better get your mind off.
He's an intelligent individual. If he wanted to get that information, he would have said to the reporter that I will get the information for you, and at the next press conference, I will get it for you.
Tim, in the first place, he's supposed automatically to be able to tell you a certain figure.
Yeah,
automatically.
He's the CIP minister.
The fact that he has the audacity to stand before the whole country and say, I don't know. That's some kind of nerve. but he knows he can do it, and nothing will happen. Then he can go further and say, not only do I not know it, I will have to ask the permission when I find out from Galaxy. I will then have to get their permission to inform you, the people who elected me to my position. You think Hillary is so stupid as to make a statement like that when he has not, when he could do something else? He believes you're going to take it. He believes there'll be no criticism. And if there's any criticism, it will not be persistent or consistent. He knows he's talking to sheep. Sheep. This is a sheep country. Those who love the government are sheep, and those who love only the opposition are sheep. Because in truth and in fact, they are the same. If everything the opposition does or says, you agree with it, and you embrace it no matter what, you're just as much a sheep or a goat as those people who say they support the government, whatever that means, on everything they do. That's what we have, two sets of sheep. Are you following me?
Very much so.
So we'll make no demand. You know, I would love to see a demonstration in the streets against the opposition party. We keep on asking for opposition against the government. But wouldn't it be interesting to see opposition in the streets against their party? Or at least inactivity? Or effeteness? I sound very fed up, and I am. Because both of them are taking us for rides. By now, there should have been some serious action. I'm not interested in who Martinez is, and you can't bullshit me that he is a con artist or whatever. Screw his con artism, because we have con artists in the government. We have con artists. Every politician in my eyes are con artists. Okay? So Martinez having done something, I don't care. But because Martinez has a record of something doesn't mean in his eyes sky isn't blue. Maybe I'll look twice, but I won't totally ignore him when what he's talking about can affect the lives of the country, the economy of the country, etc. There you are. And you know, it piles up. You have two press releases, two very important press releases, none of them bearing a signature. The story of the Bank of St. Lucia, what we have heard, is a lie. I know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't come out and say things like that. It's a lie. It's meant to mislead, and it is misleading. When you notice all the wrong people are the people coming forward, or no people coming forward, but bits of paper with no signatures. That's because you know you're talking to sheep with no retaliation. And in fairness to the opposition party, whoever heads it, if that man does not have his own money, and has no family. That's what you have to have here, you know. No family, lots of money to take on what's going on there, what's going on in our government, the lack of information. Remember what Hiller said when he opened, he launched the CIP program in Monaco, when he was asked, why Monaco? And how come we didn't know about it in advance? Classic answer. That's where the money is. He knows where the money is. He knows what he needs to know. And he also knows what he needs to tell you and what he doesn't have to tell you. Let me ask you something, because I'm a little dumb on that one. How does, let's say a company, let's use Galaxy, for example. How does Galaxy acquire 10,000 passports or even 5 passports? What is the process for that, Tim?
It would have to be through the authorities, through some programs that would be undertaken by, let's say,
in other words, you don't know.
By, let's say, the infrastructure minister or by the prime minister.
Guessing on me that, Jim?
No, I'm just guessing. I'm just saying it's directly. It has to be directly through the authorities, through the unit, through the minister.
Well, you know, with all due respect, you know, that's kind of vague, what you just said there to me. So let me see if I can guess what you're saying. So you're saying somebody from Galaxy or CEO or whoever will write to somebody in the government. Who?
Okay, because since the government would have this infrastructure project, right? And it's an initiative of the Prime Minister and let's say the Infrastructure Minister. They would have to meet with those individuals for there to be buy-in, for there to be a discussion as to how many passports, how many shares, can be allocated and sign some kind of agreement on this.
Okay, I get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Because it's teaching me, Tim, enlightening me, and it's enlightening your audience, because there's nothing worse than darkness, for your audience, the people of St. Lucia. So
But Rick, you already knew the answer to that
no, I
particular
don't.
issue.
I really don't, Tim. The things that I'm good at, everybody has been talking straight about it. So the government agrees to a project, a CIP project, and they agree that what they're going to do is give the company whatever number of passports,
Mm-hmm.
and the company will sell those passports as payment for the project.
And then now the company can also raise its own finances to add to that particular project.
All right. Okay. So, and when the project is complete, who owns the project?
The company owns the project, whatever company that's involved. It does not belong to the government and people of St. Lucia.
Now, let me get that right. I'm not very good on figures. The whole world knows that. So the government sells our patrimony, our passports, the things that make us special, our passport, our key to the world. It sells that to characters usually who cannot avail themselves of certain travel, right? So it gives them that golden key. Am I going right?
Not certain travel. It gives them the opportunity, a wider range, a wider number of countries to travel to. Because, for example, if you're from Iran, then your passport will not give you visa-free access to a number of territories. Let's say, for example, maybe the United States compared to or Europe, compared to if you have a St. Lucian passport. Like I think the St. Lucian passport will give you visa-free access to at least 140 odd countries, right? In the case of Barbados, I think it's a whole lot more, 160 odd passports. 60 odd countries, sorry.
See how clear you can be, and you should have been a teacher. That's clear.
Me.
Okay.
Mm.
So the company sells the passports and pockets the money. Am I correct so far? Or
They
put it
do.
in
They
their
do.
own bank, or is that
Well, it's supposed to put it in some kind of escrow account, because that's going through to a particular project.
And do we have control, or we have access to that escrow account?
Yes, normally we ought to have access to it.
So then, how does it come down to the money is not ours? That's definitive. The money is not ours. Therefore, the money is the company's money, right?
Yeah.
So there ain't no escrow in that. The money is not ours. It's their money to do with what they please, right? Or not do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we do if those people, the company we engage, says screw you, and they don't do the project, and they have the money, and they don't do the project? What do we do?
Well, I don't know in this particular case what we do, because you could cite the example of what transpired in St. Kitts with that prison project. The money, yeah.
You see, Tim, that's why I tell you we live like snails. We don't need to know anything. I don't know. We accept that. There's a lot. I know. I can't even say if I went asking questions, I would be accommodated. Even I, with all my whatever access I may have, I cannot say they would tell me, because chances are the people involved in there are unaccountable to anyone, and therefore, in my eyes, suspect, because they're supposed to be accountable. So anybody who refuses to be accountable, or even to volunteer information to the public that to their benefits and everything, these are people who are immediately suspect. But as I asked the governor of the bank the other day, Has anybody been brought to before any tribunal for infringing the laws governing the CIP and whatnot? And he said, not to his knowledge. Another way of saying no. When I asked him about the banks that discontinued working with the CIP, his answer was very vague. You know, so, and everybody is working for everybody incestuously. The Governor General, the governor of the bank, with all respect to him, is in an incestuous relationship with the key members of the key runners of the region. Same people who did make determinations on the CIP. He actually said he knew very little of what was going on in St. Kitts about the CIP scandal there. You heard him say that?
Yes, I heard.
Is that even reasonable? An educated, articulate, obviously knowledgeable, talented man, when it comes to a question like that, he becomes a mumu? That kind of metamorphosis in 2 seconds is disturbing. That you are in St. Kitts, the big scandal of the CIP lives in St. Kitts. From everything I've heard and read and been informed by contacts with St. Kitts, a number of people have resigned, CIP people have resigned for key positions. Tim, you know that?
Yeah, the board and also the unit.
We don't talk about that. No member of government here talks about that. We still have no details. I mean, shouldn't, and that's why I said there should be a protest march against the opposition party. Because it is the opposition party we depend on to squeeze out of the government information regarding the controversial trip that Mr. Emmanuel, the CIP CEO, and this guy went to see this crook and quote unquote, this crook and this, what is the other word they call him, fraudster. He went surreptitiously, and we are hearing contradictory answers from those who have spoken on it. We still don't know what moved this guy to go out there. What we heard was, can you believe he did that on the advice of Maharaj? Now, who is Maharaj? Maharaj is the lawyer of the leader of the opposition, as far as I know, right?
Yes.
Don't we need a lot of questioning even around that? Why didn't he go to Thaddeus, who's the lawyer, the Attorney General, the Prime Minister, all those people? Because ostensibly they don't know why he went to things, and we sure as hell don't know what he discovered, Tim. What conversation? Shouldn't that be public knowledge? Shouldn't it?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Well, so the gentleman who says, I tired like F myself, because I'm not a sheep, Tim. No, by no means am I a sheep. I'm supposed to be, resting in retirement, and I cannot, while I'm breathing and still have some energy, to just lie there like a traitor, and say nothing, like all these other traitors who are drawing a little pittance here and there to keep their mouths shut and pretending they're elephants in this city, in this town. I'm disgusted. Thank you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Still to come, we'll be hearing from T.C. Brown. He has penned a particular song. Somebody's calling on the WhatsApp. Let's see if we take that call, and then we'll be hearing from T.C. Brown. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, this is Spiner.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir.
That's the most disappointing contribution I've ever heard from Rick. I normally agree with most of what Rick says, but what Rick has done today is a disservice to St. Lucia. For Rick to say to me that you're going to make excuses to exonerate the person that is directly responsible for a program and say to me that he could have possibly been telling the truth when he said he did not know in answer to a reporter. I mean, that took me off guard. That took me by surprise to hear that come from Rick. I mean, how could he not know?
But don't you think Rick, based on what he said after that, don't you think that Rick was being facetious or being sarcastic?
No, I don't. I'll tell you why I don't think he was being facetious. Rick went further.
Because
he tried to deflect focus by talking about the opposition. Now, what you do when you do that is to diffuse responsibility from the actual culprit. The government is in office today. The government is responsible for what is happening today. Don't point fingers at the opposition for the actions of the government. When the opposition is at fault or responsible for something, hold them responsible. What is happening today, it is not the opposition that is responsible for it, it is the government. You know, Rick is a man who is into sports, so let me use a sports analogy. You know, in American football, I've noticed what they do. When you have a running back with the ball in his hand and the other guys are coming to tackle him, you find a guy, a member of his team will just come in the way and take the hit to save him. That's what Rick just did today.
But Rick also said in defense, Rick also said later in his contribution that Dr. Hilaire would have made that statement primarily because he knew that he could get away with it. Because the people of St. Lucia are sheep.
Tim, Rick said it was the end of his contribution. Can you imagine that people in St. Lucia should demonstrate against the opposition? Can you imagine that? For what the government is doing right now.
Because he says there's a role for the opposition, and as far as he's concerned, the opposition is not fulfilling that role. Beg your pardon?
And are you saying that role is to take blame for what the government is doing?
No. What he's saying is that take action against the opposition because the opposition too has a responsibility and it is failing the people of the country.
Okay, in what way have we not lived up to our responsibility? The same CIP that all of you are saying you're all tired of hearing, who are you all hearing it from? Okay, who speaks on the crime situation in St. Lucia? Who speaks about the cost of living in St. Lucia? When you talk about the opposition is not playing its role, what exactly? Tim, let's be fair and let's be reasonable. Okay, St. Lucians are not even willing to speak out when they are personally directly affected because they are so much in fear of their own government. The opposition is always the one to take up a cause. There are civil society organizations who have not said a word. The Bar Association has not said anything on CIP or anything. For example, look at what has happened there in terms of the way the law is being abused with that gazetted publication that makes a retroactive. We have not and will not hear from the Bar Association. The Christian Council, with all what is happening, we have not heard from them. The concerned citizens who once existed, with all the murders that are taking place in people's homes, we have not heard from them. The only person you hear from is the opposition. I'm hoping that when we call for St. Lucians to join us in taking action, that Rick will join in rallying St. Lucians to take a stand not against the opposition, but against the government that is responsible for all the failures and ills that are taking place in this country today.
And to be fair to the opposition, as far as the CIP matter is concerned, you'll have led the discussion on it long before Mr. Philippe Martinez.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you have to be fair. And let me tell you something. 2 days, Rick. When Rick speaks out, I give him that. He has always. You, team of people, speak out on issues, even though sometimes you do a little bit of what Rick does, like pointing fingers at the opposition as well. But today, not even the Calypsonians can sing. Traditionally, apart from you guys, like yourself and Rick, journalists, apart from you, the only other people who spoke out on any issue against what government does is the Calypsonians. Today, they cannot even sing. Today, they have not even been paid since Carnival.
And T.C. Brown will be singing in just a moment about this.
He'll be singing about it.
Yes.
Well,
in just a bit.
What they should be singing about.
In just a bit.
Instead of spending time singing against the opposition while the government is ruining the country.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. The PRO of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Leonard Spider-Motut. Now, there is an incident which occurred over in the UK just recently, and some people are finding it very comical, and that's our NewsSpin news of the day. The UK Minister for Policing, and interesting enough, crime prevention, had her purse stolen at policing conference. The UK Minister for Policing and Crime Prevention had her purse stolen at policing conference. It's not only St. Lucia we have a crime prevention minister, we have one in the UK as well. So a vlogger broke the news and he could not help but laugh throughout.
UK Police and Crime Minister's purse was stolen at a police conference in the 4-star hotel in the Midlands. Diana Johnson, the UK Minister for Police and Crime, had her belongings stolen from the hotel where she gave a speech to members of Police Superintendents Association. The Minister for Police and Crime was telling the police conference about an epidemic of antisocial behaviour, theft and shoplifting while her purse was stolen on the same day Labour released prisoners. Now, that's karma for you.
Once again, the UK Minister for Policing and Crime Prevention had a purse stolen at policing conference. Finally, this track just released by T.C. Brown, well-known St. Lucian Calypsonian, former Calypso monarch.
I can't believe carnival done. La Rose come and gone. We now in the month of September, and not one word for less $1. Is that the way to treat the culture? Or is it cause we ain't together? Me partner plays follow please. Calypsonians they care about their own business. Wow. Soon says I. I can't believe carnival done. La Rose come and gone. We now in the month of September, and not one word for less $1. Is that the way to treat the culture? Or is it cause we ain't together? Me partner plays follow please. Calypsonians they care about their own business. Wow. Soon says I.
Brown, I can't get paid. Somebody in the chat room says you should have sung that song for our $1,500, but no, you Calypsonians were protecting the victory. Another person says, putting y'all first in reverse. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.